this particular video so you never miss any of the update. So what is the debt to limit ratio? The debt to limit ratio is a metric used to assess the creditworthiness of a borrower. It is calculated by dividing the borrower's total outstanding revolving debt, such as on their credit cards, by the total amount of credit available to them. For example, a borrower with $5,000 in credit card debt and a total credit limit of $10,000 on all of their credit cards combined would have a debt to limit ratio of 50%. Key takeaways: the debt to limit ratio compares how much someone owes to how much credit they have available to borrow just. It's also referred to by other names such as credit utilization ratio. The ratio is used by lenders to assess the credit worthiness of credit applicants and is also an important component in the calculation of credit scores. Borrowers who want to improve their debt to limit ratios can do so by paying by pay, do so pay by paying down debts more aggressively on taking on additional credit if they qualify for it. So how the debit to limit ratio works? The debit to limit ratio has several other names, including balance to limit ratio, debt to credit ratio, and credit utilization ratio. In all cases, it compares the total amount of revolving debt a person has outstanding at a particular time to the total amount of revolving credit they have available to draw on, expressed as a percentage. It does not consider installment debt such as car loans and mortgages. So, regardless of the name it goes by, the purpose is the same: estimating how close the borrower is to maxing out their credit bearing capacity. In general, a debt to limit ratio of 30% or less is considered acceptable by most lenders, while ratios above that level will start to prompt concerns that the borrower may be overextended. Another common metric, debt to income ratio or DTI, take different variables into account rather than just revolving debt. It also includes installment debts or comparing the person's total monthly debt obligations to their gross income per month. Lenders may take both a prospective borrower's debt to limit and debt to income ratios into account in deciding whether to grant them a loan or for other form of credit. However, unlike their debt to limit ratio, a person's debt to income ratio doesn't figure into their credit score. That's because the credit reports on which credit scores are based do not include information on the subject's income. How debt to ratio limit debt to limit ratio affects credit scores. So consumers' credit scores are based on a numbers of factors, each of which is assigned a weighting according to its importance. In the most widely used credit scoring model, FICO scores payment history, basically whether the person has paid their credit bills on time each month, counts for the most with the weighting of 35%. Next comes what FICO calls amounts owned at 30%. A key factor in that category is the individual's debt to limit or credit utilization ratio. A high ratio can have a negative effect on the credit score, while a lower ratio can have a positive one. However, the company behind FICO scores notes in some cases a low credit utilization ratio will have a more positive impact on the FICO scores than not using any of your available credit at all. Important. Credit scores are worth paying attention for a number of reasons. Not only as they are used in lending decisions, they can also make into play into the rates you pay for insurance and even whether a landlord will rent to you or an employer offer you a job. In all of these instances, your credit score is rightly or wrongly considered an indicator of how responsible a person you are in general. So, real world examples of a debt to limit ratio: Emma is considering applying for a mortgage. To see whether she stands, she obtains both her credit reports and her credit score, which turns out to be lower than she expected. When reading through her credit reports, Emma discovers that her score was negatively affected by debt to limit ratio. So that was it for this video. Thank you for watching. So hey there, welcome back to another video of Tech 137K YouTube channel, and in this video, we'll be talking about what is LLM and how to build your own large language models. So Before getting started, make sure to subscribe our YouTube channel, like this particular video, so you never miss any of the updates. So here we will discover how to build a LLM from scratch. Why do you want to do such thing, you ask? Well, LLMs are incredibly useful for untold applications, and by building one from scratch, you understand the underlying ML machine learning techniques and can customize LLM large language models to your specific needs. Here are the table of contents. So, language plays a fundamental role in human communication, and in today's online era of ever increasing data, it is inevitable to create tools to analyze, comprehend, and communicate coherently. This is where LLM comes in big picture. A large language model is an ML model that can do various natural language processing tasks, from creating content or translating text from one language to another. The term large characterizes the number of parameters the language's model used can change during its learning period, and surprisingly successful LLMs have billions of parameters. Here are the key takeaways. So, comprehend everything about LLMs and the present state of the art, understand different types of LLMs, and evaluate if it is FAD or WAM, and discover the best ways to train LLMs from scratch and analyze them. So, let's talk about it. So, what is LLM? Large language models. So, if in layman's terms, the large language model is a trained deep learning model that understands and produces content in a human-like manner. Behind the big stage, a large transformer model does wonders. A large language model is a deep learning algorithm that does several natural language processing tasks. So furthermore, the large learning models must be pre-trained and then pre-fine-tuned to teach human language to solve text classification, text generation challenges, question answers, and document summarization. The potential of top large language models to solve diverse problems finds applications in fields ranging from finance to healthcare and entertainment, where these LLMs models serve an array of NLP applications like AI assistant, chatbots, translation, and so on. Large language models consist of untold parameters akin to memories the model gathers as it learns during a journey. It's like training. You can consider these parameters as the model's knowledge bank. A quick recap of the transformer model. In the year 2017, everything changed. Vaswani announced, "I would prefer the legendary paper. Attention is all you need." Now, which used a novel architecture that they termed as transformer. Nowadays, the transformer model is the most common architecture on a large language model. The transformer model processes data by tokenizing the input and conducting mathematical equations to identify relationships between tokens. This allows the computing system to see the pattern a human would notice if given the same query. Besides, transformer models work with self-attention mechanisms, which allows the models to learn faster than conventional extended short-term memory models. And self-attention allows the transformer model to encapsulate different parts of the sequence or the complete sentence to create publications. So, all in all, transformer models have played a significant role in natural language processing as companies started leveraging this revolutionary technology and developing LLM models of their own. Businesses and tech professionals alike must comprehend now how this technology works. Especially crucial is understanding how these models handle natural language entities and queries, enabling them to respond accurately to human questions and requests. So, what are the key elements of large language models? So, large language models are made of several neural network layers. These define the layers work in tandem to process the input to text and create desirable content as output. The embedding layer is the first one. So, this layer is a crucial element of large learning models. The embedding layer takes the input, a sequence of words, and turns each word into a vector representation. This vector representation of the word captures the meanings of the word along with its relationship with other words. The feed forward layer. So the feed forward layer of an LLM is made of several entirely connected layers that transform the input embeddings. While doing this, these layers allow the model to extract higher level abstractions, and that is to acknowledge the user's intent with the user with the text input. The next one is the recurrent layer. So the recurrent layer allows the LLM to learn the dependencies and produce grammatically correct and sentimentally meaningful text. So the next one is the attention mechanism. The attention mechanism in the large language models allows one to focus on a single element of the input text to validate its relevance to the task at hand. Plus, these layers enable the model to create the most precise outputs. So, here are the types of large language models. Often, large language models are classified on the task. They do autoregressive LLMs, transformer-based LLMs, multilingual models, and hybrid models. So, that was it for this particular video. Hope you have liked it, and we'll meet in the next video with another topic that is related to this kind of stuff. So, that was it for this one. Thank you.